First and foremost thing I want to start out by saying, how about that crowd? How about that crowd? You don't have to respond. You're media. Yeah, so what? 28,400? Something like that? Homecoming. That's what it's supposed to look like. And I'll be honest with you, that's the vision of when I first took over. And I already started talking to Kathy Beauregard. I said, we don't have a big enough stadium. She kind of looked at me like, what? Well, sooner or later, we're going to have to make it bigger because we're going to fill it too many times. That's what it should be like. We have a 6-0 football team here in Kalamazoo that's ranked in the top 25 and only going up, I promise you that. This is the team in Southwest Michigan. This is the team here in Michigan, besides a few others. But I will say this is a very special group of young men. And if you want a heck of a ball game, you want a heck of a college game day experience, you come to Waldo Stadium. Come to the Boatyard. We'll take you. Come to the Boatyard, bring your oar, and we'll take you. Very proud of our football team tonight. Got to give Northern Illinois a lot of credit. You can tell why they're a champion. You don't win the West 6 years in a row, and there's a lot of football left to play. They could make it 7. But you don't win the West 6 times in a row without being that type of football team, resilient. They didn't care whether they were up or down. But I got news for you. Neither did our kids. Neither did our kids. And I'm very proud of the effort our players put in tonight, our coaching staff. That was a hard game to coach. Georgia Southern and Northern Illinois, I will tell you, were very two difficult games to coach, to be able to adjust to. They make you play a lot of options. You have to be incredibly assignment sound. They put you in single matchups, and they force you to play defense. And they force you to play sound, disciplined defense. And I thought we did that for the most part at times tonight. We got a lot to improve on. Very proud of our offensive performance. Just phenomenal by Corey Davis tonight. Phenomenal by Zach Terrell. What a tough kid. What a tough kid. Biggest thing with him, I think he bit his tongue on that one down at the goal line. I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, all right, well, let's go through the protocol. I was like, well, he didn't get anything. He just bit his tongue really hard. And I guess the mouthpiece and his bottom teeth, and that was what he was complaining about. So, but we took him out because we were going to let our doctors evaluate him, just like we would any player. And then they put him back in, and he was solid. We didn't have any turnovers again. Is that correct? It was a long game. It's pretty astonishing. I hope that you all understand how important that is. I don't know any stats. That's not my job. But being the only team that hasn't turned the ball over in college football, and you see the direct correlation into the result, it's part of the process. The ball's the program. You got to give them a lot of credit. That Anthony Matty kid's a heck of a ball player. He was here. I mean, we had him. And, again, decided to go with Zach Terrell, which I would never regret that decision, ever. I mean, my gosh, Zach Terrell's one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play the game here at Western Michigan. But I'm very proud of Anthony's resolve and how he's continued to grow. And you could see that he's got a lot of Jordan Lynch in him. But you got to give them a lot of credit. They're a heck of a football team. But I know this, we got a really heck of a football team too. And I'm very proud of that group in there because it was hard. That was very hard. Very hard. And they got tested in a lot of areas. But they grew higher, and they learned a lot, even throughout the course of the game. And if you look back in our past, we always talk about you've got to embrace your past to create your future. And we gave them a muddy water vial at the beginning of the week. And the muddy water simplified a Genghis Khan quote about, when it's really bad, you got to drink the dirty water. And a lot of people don't want to drink the dirty water. We have 3 guys left from that first year. Michael Henry, Taylor Moton, and Zach Terrell. They drank the muddy water. They also swept the dirty streets, the smelly streets. That's what it was. We had dirty water, we had muddy streets. And that was all we had. And you see the loyalty, and you see the growth, and you see the development of those young men. It was worth it. So we gave them a vial of dirty water, and they all kept it in their locker this week. And we also gave them a compass. I have one. We also gave them a compass. And it says RTB on it 2 different ways. And any way you look at it, it says RTB. And we talked about our dirty water creating our future. But our future's got to be able to be focused on one thing. So we use the Dallas Cowboys as a theme. Sounds strange, but what's their logo? A star. We called ourselves the America's Cowboys today because we needed to focus on that one star. So you went from your past, dirty water, muddy streets, and then all of a sudden you get this compass to guide you throughout your process, and then we all have to be focused on one play at a time, focused on that one star as we continue to row the boat. And they executed that to perfection. Our staff is incredible. Guys, I motivate, I stimulate, and I educate. That's what I do. Our coaches coach. Kirk Shiraka, Ed Pinkham, Rob Wenger, Matt Simon, Brian Callahan, Bill Kenny, Kenny Burns, Jimmy Williams, David Duggan. GAs are special. Special men. And I'm so proud to have them part of our staff. They humble me every day when I come to work because I'm the one bringing the juice, but I got to match them. There's no way I can even never have to provide juice to them. They go. They go. They go how go. And I'm very proud of them. So sorry about all that, but that was big. That was big to be 1-0. And that's all it was, 1-0. So with that, I'll open up for questions. That's it. You're all stunned by that Oscar speech. Yep, we've accomplished, I think, 7 nevers now, something like that. Remember, we had 21 nevers last year, and everybody's like, oh, you had all these nevers, and where are you going to go from here? I said, we're going to grow higher. We've got 7 nevers now in 2016. Bowl eligible for the 3rd straight year, which has never happened in Bronco history. We're 6-0 for the first time ever since 1941. Bill Brown, I don't even know if Bill Brown was around back then. He was around, maybe, but not playing football, obviously. But he spoke to our team this morning, had an incredible message. And that's what we're talking about, bringing our past to create our future. Even the people, bring them along. And we're very proud of that, but that's not why we're here, just to be bowl eligible anymore. That was great a few years ago. Not anymore, guys. Sorry. Nope. But we're going to take it. But that's not our focus. Our focus is to be 1-0 at Northern Illinois, and we were. Happened to make us bowl eligible. Terrific. Wonderful. Move on. We're going to be at midnight here. Heather, midnight. We'll move on, and we'll be 0-0 looking towards the Zips.
I asked you midweek about what it would mean with your background, obviously, to beat Northern Illinois, and you gave me a very midweek answer.
Sure.
Now it's Saturday night, and you've won the game. And I wonder if you'd give us a little more of what it means to you.
Yeah, how about this?
I just need a little more.
How's that? About that much. I will say this. It's a one-game season. And Andy, I would love to sit there and say that's the biggest one. It's not. It's the next right thing to do. Our program was ready to beat that team. Period. We weren't ready last year. We weren't ready at the goal line. You look at all those players, though, same guys. And I think they even made a comment earlier in the week. Same guys, same defense. That's what they said. Same guys, same defense. And they're right. They're right. Same guys, same offense. They're right. They're right. They've just matured a hell of a lot. And Jarvion Franklin, who fumbled at the goal line, he didn't fumble today. It's not in him to fumble at the goal line against that team. He's moved on. He's grown higher. He's developed. Zach Terrell fumbled against this team or threw an interception. Nope. Corey Davis dropped the ball against this team. We showed him a highlight tape, a D-highlight tape, of all the things that we didn't do right on Tuesday against Northern Illinois from all our past years. Got to know your past to create your future. Then on Wednesday, we showed him all the horrible things we've done in every game we've lost. That was a long highlight tape, D-highlight tape. Got to know your past to create your future. But we're not in our past anymore. We're rowing the boat to the future. That's all that matters. 1-0, Andy. 1-0. And maybe just maybe like that till about, I'll give maybe 2 a.m. tonight, honey. 2 a.m. Maybe, Andy, I'll call you later.
The beverage celebration?
We might not just go for the wine fridge. We might have to go to the wine cellar tonight. How's that?
Coach, you guys faced probably a little bit more adversity tonight than you had in some previous games. I know you guys faced
Yeah, you have to. I mean, look at our schedule. First of all, look at our schedule. That's a great question because look at our schedule. The first 6 games were incredibly hard, right? You open up with a Big Ten team who's on a roll, right? And then you play NCCU, who's been a conference champion the 2 straight years, and you take care of business, which you should have. But then you go and then you play Illinois, right? Or was that Georgia Southern? No, Illinois, right? Okay, sorry, been a long year already. So Illinois and another Big Ten team, and you win that game. And you win a game that people thought you should have won. Remember, us being favored against a Big Ten team, we've never been in that territory before, ever. And they won 34-10. And then you come back, play a Georgia Southern team who really whooped you the year before, dominated the football game, and they were just as good. And then you've got to now go to Central Michigan, at Central Michigan, which all they talk about is you've won 2 straight. That had nothing to do with this year at all. Took care of business, got the Cannon Trophy home where it belongs. But again, you're talking about a team that beat a top 25 team as well. And then you play Northern Illinois, the 6-time West champs. The best team in our league over the last decade, period. No questions, and there's no argument. That's the first half of our schedule, and you come out 6-0. Doesn't promise you anything. It gives us a better chance. It gives us an experience. We do everything we can to teach our players there is no such thing as tests. We do everything we can. We slip at times. But there is no such thing as tests, only opportunities to grow and learn, and you get to choose. But there are no such thing as tests, right? We grow and learn every day, and that's part of the process. And that's all we're focused on, the process. But you talk about, putting some donuts on a baseball bat the first 6, that's a lot. And they've earned every single one. But they've also put themselves in positions to gain a lot of knowledge and experience because that's what champions have to be able to have one day. You've got to be in a tight-knit game. You've got to beat a top 25 team. You got to beat, Power 5 schools. You got to win the close one. You got to blow a team out. You got to do all these things. You got to win the game on defense. You got to win the game on offense. You got to win the game in special teams. You got to have all these things happen to be able to create leather skin, your scars. And then, like I said, we failed in the past at a lot of those. And now we're able to accomplish some of those because we kept our oars in our water and we never quit. And we never took our eye off the vision and the process, ever. And we'll keep going. This promises nothing, guys. Look, when you're 1-11 before, it's the greatest thing that ever happened to our program is go 1-11. At least the greatest thing that happened to me as a head coach because when you're 1-11, you can go back like that in a heartbeat because it's so much faster to lose it than to keep it. So much faster. Oh. And that humbles you immediately. And, our team's been humbled a lot, but humbled's okay. Being humbled every day is okay. Long answer to your question, but you asked.
Coach, it seemed like there was a drive that gave your offense and your defense a lot of momentum, and I saw that as being when Jarvian Franklin took that targeting hit, bounced off it, and ran into the end zone, which was eventually called back because he stepped out of bounds. But then also when Corey Davis made the one-handed catch in the back corner of the end zone. Can you talk about what those 2 plays and that scoring drive did for your offense, and then maybe a little bit for your defense, which came out and got put some stops together?
Yeah, that's a great question, first of all. I'm glad you noticed that because Zach Terrell, Jarvian Franklin, and Corey Davis on that drive took over the game. And remember, those guys, they all started as freshmen, right? And they all failed together as freshmen. And they were going to refuse to lose. Refuse. Not like want to win, big difference. Wanting to win, refusing to lose. 2 different things. That team out there, right, has always had the refuse to lose mentality. We wanted to become like that. And Corey Davis's catch was unbelievable. It should be on SportsCenter. Should be the lead on Channel 3. I'm going to put it on there. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And then Jarvian Franklin's catch, and I don't think he stepped out of bounds, but once they blew a whistle, they couldn't call it back. I thought the officiating was awesome. Even with Donnie, it was awesome. Zach made a huge play. And again, it was just they did what they had to do. Players make plays. Coaches works in X's and O's. That's what we do for a living, for 80 hours a week. We look at X's and O's. But it's not those, it's your Jimmies and your Joes. And those Jimmies and Joes executed those X's and O's. Because our X's and O's are the same as year 1. And everybody wants to call us great coaches now. Well, we're the same coaches we were, X's and O's. Same system. Same basic systems, as they would say. Sure, but we're us. And that's okay. Our defense then, the biggest thing our defense did was hold them to 3 points twice in the second half. Was it twice? Huge. And they kind of bent, but they didn't break. With that team, again, don't forget, they had 484 yards, which, again, but that's their average. That was their average. They had 750 yards against Ball State the week before, don't forget. I mean, that's a really good football team. And that Anthony Matty kid gives them a different dimension that they had with Jordan Lynch. They got one of the best receivers in the league. They got two of the best running backs in the league. They got an incredible offensive line. And they got a style of defense that they've called the hard way for years. Right? So we beat a really good football team. Forget the record. Beat a really good football team tonight. Because if that's not that culture, Northern's culture out there, it's over after halftime. Not Northern's culture. Nope. They were going to refuse to lose too. So, but our kids made a few more plays, and they deserve all the credit. Players deserve the credit.
Has Zach been working on his spin move in practice? Because we busted that out a little bit.
I will be 100% honest with you. I didn't even see it. I thought Jarvion had the ball. Because the play is designed to go to Jarvion, right? And I thought Jarvion had the ball, and he gets swallowed from the back. I'm already on the headset going, hey, all right, here's what we're going to do. And next thing you know, I see this, crazy leg, sweep feet, do something, and then he was in the end zone. I said, wait a second here. I mean, so they even fooled the head coach on that one. But again, it was an incredible read. I mean, for him to pull it like he did and really ride out the give was impressive. And that's what we need to do. He did an incredible job with his eyes. But he has just gotten better and better. I'm telling you, guys, if you own a company out there, when this kid gets done, and he gets done with the NFL, guys, forget sales, marketing, walking in, give him the CEO job and let him run your company. I'm telling you, he's the most special human being I've ever met. Ever. And I'm glad to get to coach him for another 2 months. He's special. Guys, he's special. He's special. And he goes way beyond wins. He's special. He's unique.
There have been a lot of good receivers that have come through that program in recent years, but now Corey kind of stands alone at the top with his 40 touchdown reception today. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about how he's grown through your time coaching.
Yeah, he's a lot more mature. The one thing Corey's had to be able to deal with is the minute he walked in here as a true freshman, remember, we didn't have anybody. So he started. To be able to start as a true freshman and catch 60 passes and be the guy as a true freshman on a not very good football team and be the guy, the only type of offense we have, that takes a lot of a maturity at a very young age that he wasn't ready for. Wasn't ready for it. And then he builds into a sophomore year and gets a little bit better. And then his junior year, obviously, and now his senior year. I'd say the biggest thing he's done is Corey's life has challenged him in his past. And he's used his past to create his future. He's a kid that's, for 4 years, you don't necessarily have to worry about too much. He knows what his goals are. He knows where he's been. And he never wants to go back there. And he knows where he's going, which is where his eyes are locked on. That kid stays 40 minutes after every single practice. We're talking practice. And that's what he does every single day. But you know who else is out there? 11, 31, right? 15, 83. They're all out there on their own. They don't have to be, but they are. That's where he's improved. In the film room, he's in there way more than he's ever been. He's after practice way more than he's ever been. And he leads more than he's ever been. Corey is not the outspoken guy. He's very shy. But he has changed himself to make himself somewhat of an outspoken guy when it needs to be done. But if anybody wants to learn how to play wide out, watch that kid. And that's what all of our young receivers have an opportunity to do, is watch that kid. Maybe one of the greatest wideouts, if not the greatest wideout ever to play in the Mid-American Conference, one of them. And maybe one day in the nation, and they get to watch him. It's pretty special. And that's why I tell Kalamazoo, enjoy him while you got him. Because don't think that Coach Fleck just recruits 3 Corey Davises every single year. They don't come around very often. Alabama would love to have that kid. Okay? Clemson would love to have that kid. I mean, him and Mike Williams across from each other, are you kidding me? But hey, we have him here, and we're going to enjoy him. And I know he's enjoying his process, his teammates, his family. And I think that's where he's really grown too, is being able to make his circle smaller. It's hard for young people. They think as you go through life, your circle gets bigger. In reality, it needs to be smaller. A lot of people are going to join your life that want to join your life once you have success. But there's going to be a lot of people that don't stick with you during the hard adversity parts. That really shows your circle.